Okay, so I'm here with Lindsey VanZandt. Lindsey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So it's been a little while since we've seen you in the cage. Your last fight was in July. How have you been keeping since then?
I did a lot of moves. I moved across the country, so I've been getting better ever since. So hasn't stopped me.
Yeah. Yeah. What's it like? What was the decision to move during a pandemic then?
um, I just needed a change. I was getting too comfortable where I was, and I needed to change up my coaching and my training partner. So I visited some gyms in September, and I moved in November, beginning of November.
Yeah,
So
so tell us about the team you're with now then.
I'm with Fight Ready in Arizona, Scottsdale.
Yeah, who are some of your training partners who we might know then?
One of my the best training partners I have is my boyfriend Derek Flores. He is, I mean, not a lot of people know about him. He's like the best flyweight Filipino flash.
Yeah,
He's the best training partner I've ever had. He really pushes me, and my stand up has gotten so much better since I've been here, and my wrestling as well. So I'm really excited to be here.
good. Um,
Yeah.
Your last fight against Alicia Zapatella obviously didn't go your way, but what have you been able to learn from that fight to take forward?
Damn, I learned some girls just don't want to fight. They just want to lay on top of you
Yeah,
and slide by and get a decision. So that's what I learned.
yeah,
But I worked on a lot of stuff since then, my wrestling and stuff like that. But I mean, to be real, I thought I won that fight. I think a lot of other people did thought I did too. I had the momentum going in the second and the third round, and I pushed the pace. I had her against the cage. So I don't know, but I'm sure I'll get a rematch soon. So we'll see.
hopefully. What differences do you notice fighting for Invicta, which is obviously an all-female organization, against like Bellator or just a mixed gender company?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
What differences do you notice fighting for
Oh,
Invicta being
difference.
an all-female organization than say Bellator?
Um, I mean, they run really smoothly. They do a great job with the fighters. They really care about the fighters. I mean, Bellator really cares. I mean, I literally love all the promotions I fought for. Horizon, Bellator, they've all been great. Differences is just I don't know. I guess it's fun being on all female card. That's really the only difference.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's fun being with all girls, and it's different in that aspect. Sorry, my cats are crazy. Um, but yeah, so yeah, the only difference I would say is just being with all girls instead of being in like different rooms with the other guys fighting and stuff like that. It's really the only difference.
Your cat seems to be having fun.
Yeah, he wants to go outside. I just quieted him down.
Um,
Fun
so
stuff.
two fights I want to talk about are the two Rina Kubota fights as well. The first one in Bellator, which you won, and then the rematch over in Ryzen.
Yeah.
Mainly, how did that rematch come about? Did you know when you fought her the first time that she might want the rematch in Japan if you were able to win?
No, it just kind of came around, and it got offered on like the coolest card of the year. So I
Yeah,
said, why not? And I've never traveled that far for like overseas for a fight. I've always only traveled in the US. The farthest I ever traveled was Kansas City. So I figured why not get that experience? So yeah.
yeah. You mentioned that being the coolest card of the year. Talk to me about that New Year's Eve Japanese experience now with Ryzen.
Oh, it was so cool. I would love to do it again. Japan was amazing. All the people there are amazing. The food's amazing. The crowds are so it
Yeah.
was really cool and definitely a really good experience. I mean, obviously I wish I got the win, but shit happens.
So what's the fight week like building up to it in Ryzen compared to something over in the States?
um they just have a lot more fans, like just being in the hotel with all the other fighters. There's just always fans in the lobby, like trying to get a picture with you or like one of the little like rising cards. So
Yeah.
I got like swarmed a couple times and I wasn't used to that. So I was like, oh damn, this is cool. But yeah, so that's probably like the only thing that's like way different. Other than that, you still have the weigh-ins and
Yeah.
the fight media and stuff like that.
Right. So obviously another thing with Ryzen is it's a different rule set. So how were you able to prepare in camp for fighting under different rules?
Well, we only had like a month out that we had time to prepare, so it's kind of not a lot of time to prepare for that kind of rule change. But just I kind of kept it in mind when I was in there. We did some stuff, but it's always different when you're in there. So yeah, not a lot of time to prepare in that sense. But like I said, I just had the new rules in mind, and to try not to put myself in situations where I want to get like kicked to the face on the ground or knee to the face on the ground. So
What?
a little more dangerous.
How much of you was hoping you'd have a chance in that fight to throw a soccer kick to her on the ground?
Oh, I definitely worked some of those. Like it was working more offense than defense. Like leading up, like that'd be dope. Like to stand up and like kick her in the face while she's on the ground. But I mean, the opportunity didn't arise.
So there's been a bit of talk recently about Atomweight joining the UFC. I saw you shared an article about it earlier. What do you think about the current depth of that division? Do you think it has potential to grow as well with the UFC?
Oh yeah, with all like more women doing MMA, I think for sure it's gonna grow. I think it's just the beginning, and there's a lot of girls right now that people don't even know about. And like I said, like there's a lot of girls overseas too, so they could really definitely make a big division with girls from one rising, and then in the US, I think for sure it's gonna be a deep division.
And then you've obviously got people like Michelle Waterson or Tisha Torres who could move.
Yeah, that could come down. Yeah, I'm sure they would love to do that.
Yeah. So, one thing, how do you hype yourself up for a fight? Like, do you like to be calm? Do you like to get really amped? What do you do to kind of get in the right frame of mind?
I like to be calm. I usually pick my fight music on how I'm feeling, like if I need to be amped up or if I need to be like chill. But for the most part, I go in there pretty calm. I'm always really excited, but I know that if I can stay calm and relax, that I'm gonna do my thing.
So what sort of music are you normally listening to before you go out there?
I actually really don't listen to music in the back. I just pick my fight music based on how I'm feeling. But like in the back, I'm usually like antsy and like kind of jumping around, always like stretching and mobilizing and just trying to make sure I feel good and feel warm. And usually I'm like, okay, Lindsey, like go take a nap or something and like pass some time. But yeah, I'm usually pretty chill in the back. I don't really listen to music in the back at all, really. I just crack jokes the whole time and talk to people and yeah.
Do you get nervous before fights? Do you feel pressure? Because I've spoken to some fighters who do, some fighters who don't. So what's your opinion on that?
For me, I think the only pressure I really feel is on myself. Like I want to perform at my best. As long as I perform at my best, I don't care if I win or lose. I just want to go in there knowing that like I was me. Because there's fights where you just don't show up, and those are like the worst kind of fights. So I just want to make sure that I'm there, present, and doing my thing. So that's my biggest thing. But yeah, the only pressure I feel is usually on myself because I train so hard and I've sacrificed so much that I want to make sure that I do my best in there.
Yeah, there's been a bit of talk over the last few days, especially after the Max Holloway fight at the weekend, about people having camps with no sparring since Max doesn't spar anymore. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's good for brain, like, keeping your brain healthy and stuff like that. I think there's levels. So, like, he's sparred probably so much in his day. Does he really need to spar anymore? I mean, look at his performance. I mean, he can just, keep sharp and be fine. But I think that people have to realize there's like a levels to this. So, like, I'm gonna still spar before my fight. I mean, I don't think I'm ready to like stop sparring. I still have to know what works for me. But Max already knows what works for him.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm still figuring that out and putting stuff together, whereas he's pretty much mastered that. I mean, there's always stuff to work on, obviously, but for him, I think it's just staying sharp and being ready, and he'll be fine.
So you just had the one fight last year. Is the plan definitely to be more active this year?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think we all wish that we were more active this year. We last year with COVID, but yeah, of course, I always want to fight as much as possible. I mean, the year before that, I fought like 5 times, so I just want to keep the ball rolling, get back in there.
So what sort of time frame are you looking at?
When anything comes up, I'm ready to go. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna have some.
Yeah,
I want to have some fight news soon. Hopefully, coming up. We'll see.
Good.
Yeah.
So what differences has there been training during the pandemic? What's it been for you? Has it been smaller groups? Has it been has the gym been closed at all?
Yeah, I mean, there was ups and downs. So I was in New York for most of it. So yeah, I trained out of my house for like a month or two.
Yeah.
I like changed my house around and put mats down in the living room and did all that. Trained outside a lot. Yeah, it's been hard. it's definitely, I think, at the point where it's gotten better. Obviously, like everything's starting to open a little bit more with the vaccinations coming out and all that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've always found a way to train. I think everybody else is figuring it out as well. I don't think that it stopped anybody
Yeah.
because where there's a will, there's a way. So
Yeah, MMA, not just the UFC in general, but a lot of the major promotions seem to have done a pretty good job of being able to keep shows running and keep fighters employed, essentially.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's still hard to find fights either way, but yeah.
So what sort of opponent are you looking at next? If Invicta give you the call, say, hey, who do you want next? What are you going to say back?
I'll take anybody. I feel ready for anybody. I really want that belt. So obviously, Alicia's Zapatella's on my hit list, but she probably already knows that.
After that last fight, I think she definitely knows that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm positive.
Just quickly before we finish here, McGregor, Dustin Poirier is this weekend. How do you see that fight going?
I don't know. McGregor's good at calling his own fights, and when he feels confident, he feels confident. So I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'll tell you that. That's gonna be a fun card. But yeah, I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm sure Dustin likes the opportunity to take Conor out, so it's definitely gonna be a fun night.
Yeah, just lastly, this time next year, where do you want to be in your career?
The champ. First, I want to be the Invicta champ, and then I'm sure once Dana White sees all the Atomweights put on shows that he's gonna bring us to the UFC, and it'd be so dope to be the first UFC Atomweight champ. That's like history making shit right there. So that is the goal.
Awesome. I want to thank you for the time today. Any shout outs you want to give, or where can people watching this follow you and find out what's going on?
Well, my Instagram is damsel_MMA. I am coming out with new t-shirts. Probably be posting a little preview to that this week so people can put in their orders and stuff because I will have a fight coming up hopefully soon. Waiting, I'm just getting ready. I'm like, let me get my t-shirts out. So stay tuned for that, guys, and order some t-shirts. They're gonna be dope.
All right. Yeah. Thank you again, Lindsey, for the time today. Best of luck this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.